If you've watched the previous videos in this series, you should be pretty equipped to defend the pro-life position. However, it's different watching a video and imagining what you would say and actually sitting at someone's table and discussing an issue when you have to come up with the right words. For this reason, I want to give you some extra coaching to answer those most difficult questions that an abortion advocate may bring up. Hi, I'm Chuck Livermore. I'm a Christian author and speaker, and my aim is to help you be confident and equipped as you take the gospel of Jesus Christ to a waiting world. At the end of this video, I will talk you through a flowchart that will help you guide the conversation and be ready to answer any question that your abortion advocate may throw at you. So if you're ready, let's start. Abortion advocates have been in this struggle against life for decades. They've developed some rhetorically powerful arguments. However, the truth is on our side. Abortion actually does kill an unborn baby. Just like the abolitionists before the Civil War or Jewish sympathizers during World War II, we must continue to push against every high thing that exalts itself against the knowledge of God, bringing every thought into captivity to the obedience of Christ. Now, one of the difficult circumstances that abortion advocates will often bring up is the difficult situation of when the baby must be taken in order to save the life of the mother. Now, ectopic pregnancy is one such situation. This occurs any time an unborn baby is growing in a place other than the uterus. In this case, the baby cannot survive to full term. If the problem is not corrected, the mother will die also. Sometimes the unborn will grow inside the fallopian tubes or attached to the abdominal wall or to one of the ovaries. Abortion rights advocates like to bring up this situation to get you to admit that sometimes abortion is justified. The true pro-life position is not to prevent all abortions at any cost. Sometimes the most compassionate choice is to allow the baby to die in order to save the mother. An ectopic pregnancy occurs in only 2% of all pregnancies. So don't let them make pregnancy seem so dangerous that the mother's life is always in danger. An ectopic pregnancy is sometimes misdiagnosed in emergency rooms, but obstetricians can readily recognize its symptoms. All pregnant women should be under the regular prenatal care of a physician. What you're arguing for is for the greater good, not for the ideal. It is morally consistent to abort the baby to save the mother's life. The baby will die regardless of whether an abortion is performed or not. An ectopic pregnancy can be equated to this scenario. Let's say you're on a sailboat with two of your friends. Suddenly, your boat is rocked by a large wave, and both of your friends fall overboard on opposite ends of the boat. To make matters worse, none of you can swim. This boat just happens to be equipped with only one life preserver ring. So how can you decide which friend to throw the ring to? Both of your friends are equally valuable, but if you don't throw the life ring to at least one of them, both of them are going to drown. Now, the same thing is true for a mother and her baby. While both are valuable human beings, it is consistent with the pro-life position to at least save one of them. Now, another difficult position for pro-life advocates to deal with is the instances where a woman has been raped or had sex with a close relative. Now, I gave a consistent logical response in a previous video where we talked about the trot out the toddler tactic. But logic by itself may be the wrong response in this highly emotional situation. The rape or incest challenge may be presented by someone attempting to justify their action because they had aborted a baby that was a result of a rape, or they may know someone who did that. Logic doesn't mean much unless we confirm that we understand that rape is evil. We can't claim the moral high ground if we are unsympathetic to the victims of this horrific crime. Now, I want you to use your brain, but lead with your heart. Remember, the person who argues this position may be a victim. And she also is an image bearer of God, just like her baby. Now, the law would never sanction a vigilante-style killing of a rapist by the woman who was raped. The rapist is guilty, so why would they sanction killing an unborn baby who's an innocent? Just remember, because you are a victim of a crime, you aren't allowed to victimize someone else. You can't do your neighbor's TV just because yours was stolen. Likewise, you aren't justified in killing your innocent baby because you were victimized. Now, this may not really be the hill that you want to die on. If you've given your best arguments and the abortion advocate is still recalcitrant and won't give in, don't keep pressing the issue. It's better to concede this special circumstance that is only valid in 1% of abortion cases and continue to argue for the other 99% of abortions that they should be illegal. Most likely, someone arguing for the exception of a rape victim will continue to be against making abortion illegal in these other cases. This shows that the rape and incest objection wasn't really their reason for their pro-abortion position. Now, the next special circumstances I want to talk about is the my body, my choice argument. Now, formally, that's known as the bodily rights argument. The counter-argument to this position is to simply get the proponent to clarify that she really believes that this is a valid position. I don't want you to directly say, "Are you really that selfish?" But however, you can certainly imply that. You can ask questions like, don't mothers have a responsibility to care for their children, whether planned or not? Pose the question, do you feel a mother who doesn't have access to formula may refuse to breastfeed her baby? Or you can trot out the toddler and ask, do you think a woman has a right to kill her 2-year-old if the child interferes with her right to do what she wants with her body? A clever abortion rights supporter named Judith Thompson devised a story to justify the bodily autonomy stance. She called this the violinist argument. Her story suggests that a great violinist contracts a deadly kidney disease, and the Society of Music Lover hacks into the medical databases and finds a woman who's the exact match for the violinist. Now, Judith Thompson suggested that refusing a woman an abortion would be like the woman who the society kidnaps and connects to the violinist so that his blood can be purified by her kidneys. They sneak the violinist and the woman into a hospital, and the violinist is unconscious, but the medical staff that discover the woman and the violinist connected the next morning believe that he will make a full recovery if he is just given 9 months for his kidneys to heal. Of course, if you disconnect yourself from the violinist, then the violinist is going to die. This is how the analogy breaks down. With the violinist, the woman is bedridden. This only happens in very rare circumstances with a pregnancy. Also, a pregnancy is the result of you engaging in risky behavior. You should know that pregnancy is a possibility when you engage in sex without taking steps at prevention. With the violinist, you just wake up one morning attached to the violinist. But the starkest difference is the violinist is a stranger. You shouldn't assume that a baby is simply a stranger to whom you have no emotional ties. And of course, there's another way to answer this, and that's to trot out the toddler. Ask the person who is demanding that she be allowed to do what she wants with her own body if she should be allowed to go on a vacation with her body and leave her 2-year-old child home alone. If the baby is a human person, it should be forbidden to neglect him or her because you have bodily autonomy. You also have a responsibility to do what you do with your body. So if you want to be able to defend the pro-life position, I suggest that you watch the other videos in this series. In the first video in this series, I present the biblical argument for the pro-life position. If you are an evangelical Christian, you should recognize the authority of the scriptures to guide your thinking on morality and on your worldview. As Christians, we are pro-life because God has revealed that babies are persons with a God-given purpose even before they are born. However, if you use the Bible to convince others that the pro-life position is the morally correct view of abortion, you will not get very far with a secular audience. You're committing a logical fallacy by appealing to an authority that the secular person doesn't accept. For this reason, I want to show you how to defend the pro-life position without appealing to the scriptures. The rest of the videos in this series are based on the training I received from Alan Schleman with Stand to Reason. This ministry, which you can find at str.org, has designed a flowchart to walk you through the pro-life position, including the difficult questions we've discussed earlier in this video. In the flowchart, you may have noticed that the first question we must answer is, what is the unborn? In the second video in this series, I teach you why you're on the right track in your discussion with any interlocutor who is an abortion advocate if you can show that this is the primary question that matters in this discussion about abortion. If the person you are speaking with doesn't believe that unborn babies are human beings, you will want to make sure that you stay focused on answering this primary question. In video number 3 of this series, I will show you how to bring the discussion back to that primary question if the person you're speaking with tries to divert to one of the many side issues. In the fourth video in this series, I answered the question that we've been asking through the whole series so far. And I do this by showing that the science of embryology gives definite evidence for when life begins. If someone affirms that unborn babies are living human beings, it is difficult to understand how they can justify killing him or her. If the person with whom you're discussing the issue agrees that a baby is a human being from the moment that the conception process is complete, you can then move to the next question. Aren't all human beings valuable? Now, if they don't affirm that all humans are valuable, you can use the SLED or the SLED test to show that it is unjust to discriminate against anyone for the reasons they give. You can't put the unborn into a special category of human beings that's devoid of the rights that are afforded to the rest of us. Finally, if they affirm that a baby in the womb is a human being and that as a human being it has the right to live just like the rest of us, then they must be saying that their rights over their own body trumps the baby's rights to have a life. This is the height of selfishness. My suggestion in this case is to show that rights come with responsibilities. Just because a person has rights, it doesn't mean that they can ignore their responsibilities to their community, to our nation, and to humankind. If you found this video helpful, I'd appreciate it if you'd give me a thumbs up and like the video. And if you want to see more content like this, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. And I'd also like for you to post in the comments whether you're pro-life or pro-abortion and whether or not you agree with the arguments I presented in this video series. Thank you for watching, and may you always be ready to give an answer for the hope that you have in Jesus Christ.